Toyota just released their electric Corolla, which supposedly has the same range for the same price as the Model 3. Let's take a look.
The new electric Toyota Corolla has just gone on sale. It's called the BZ3. It's basically manufactured by BYD, and Toyota are offering you a lifetime of free service if you buy their car. In fact, not only that, they'll also give you a discount.
A discount? This car just started production literally just now. That is not a good sign if you are already offering discounts right after letting everyone order. But let's see.
Toyota are struggling to sell the BZ4X, which is the bigger brother of this car. In fact, they're selling this new Corolla, which is smaller than the BZ4X, for more money than the BZ4X. Strange.
So we made a car that people do not want, and we made it in a form factor that most people usually prefer, and now we are going to make it smaller. And despite that often leading to people not liking the car as much or as often, the sales will come, right?
So exactly how much is this new Toyota Corolla BZ3? Well, first of all, it's actually a very similar size to a Tesla Model 3. So it's significantly bigger than a Toyota Corolla, but it's sort of just been marketed that way. So the perception is that that's what it is, but it's not really. It's really more a Tesla Model 3 sized.
When we compare how big the Model 3 is versus this Toyota BZ3, really the differences are non-existent. They are about this big. In some places, the Model 3 is a little bit bigger. For example, it's just a little bit wider, but the Toyota BZ3 is maybe about this much longer, and the Toyota is maybe about this much taller. Maybe a little bit less than that, actually, but they are very similar.
Jointly developed by Toyota and BYD, which is actually a good thing. It's probably going to be a much better electric car than the BZ4 as a result.
Hopefully, this time Toyota can at least keep the wheels on the cars. Maybe BYD can teach Toyota a few things about that. I still can't believe that Toyota gave up this lead in electric vehicles. I mean, did you know that Toyota had a hybrid in 1995? That was the Prius, basically, which was only sold in Japan. I mean, back in 2004, Toyota was already selling 125,000 of these per year. They had some sort of understanding of how an EV could be designed. I mean, if someone was going to build it, it was going to be Toyota back then, you would think.
The BZ3 actually began its sort of pre-development stage 3 years ago, and it's finally been released to the market at a price of 190,000 to 220,000 RMB.
That's between 27,000 USD and 32-ish thousand. For example, the Model 3 currently sells for 229,000 RMB, which would be 33,000 USD.
The first 5,000 customers of the BZ3 can get a discount of $290 and an additional discount of $725 if they buy within the next couple of months. In addition to that, if you're a previous customer, you can get an additional $1,160 discount, and you also get free maintenance for 10 years or 200,000 kilometers, plus 24-hour free road assistance and a free charging connector.
I wonder if Toyota will make any profit from these vehicles. Probably no profit. Otherwise, if Toyota was able to make a profit from EVs, why has it been so reluctant towards switching to EVs?
Now, what else do we know about it? Well, it's got a central infotainment screen, sort of similar to most cars these days, most EVs anyway, 12.3 inches. And because it was basically built by BYD, or developed by BYD, it uses BYD motors and BYD battery packs. But Toyota are not really convinced about BYD's battery packs. Apparently, they've said they think they're not good enough.
And perhaps for a very good reason. Here's what I found today on Twitter. Ray tweets, looks like the failure rate for BYD packs, the non-blade ones, after 100,000 kilometers is high. That's about 62,000 miles. Each of the battery modules are only cooled at the bottom and vulnerable to expansion if heat is not properly dissipated.
I don't know, that's a bit strange to hear that. That may not be true. I'm hoping that it isn't, because I think one of the best parts of a BYD is its battery packs. And in fact, the lithium iron phosphate blade battery in BYD cars is definitely a superior battery pack to the batteries that Toyota use in the BZ4X, which is not made by BYD. So I'm not sure what Toyota are going on about there.
Toyota has a decent record of picking its partners. For example, Toyota chose Tesla years ago and exited that relationship in 2017, right before Tesla exploded a few years later. The thing that Toyota struggles with is actually taking advice from someone that knows a little bit more than them. After all, BYD has more wheels on the road that are powered exclusively just by batteries. And that's not because Toyota's wheels just come off its vehicles. That's because Toyota didn't really make any battery electric vehicles yet.
What's the power? What's the performance? Actually, it's pretty good. It's got 180 kilowatt, which is around about 270 horsepower. Torque is 303 newton meters. Top speed 160 kilometers an hour. That's about 100 miles an hour. And it can go from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour, which is 0 to 62 miles an hour, in 7.5 seconds.
Which is similar to the speed that the competition has been coming after Tesla. Not very fast. Although, it's not that slow either. I mean, if you want a commuter car, 7.5 seconds, that's fine, but you will not experience any thrills, really. The Model 3 is 6.1 seconds. I also assume this acceleration speed only applies to the top model, which would be basically the same as the price of the Model 3.
Battery pack, what's the size? Well, the cheaper model, this is where the value equation starts to go down when you compare this car to the Model 3. The cheaper model has a 49.9 kilowatt hour pack, and the more expensive model, which is actually very closely priced to a Tesla Model 3, basically the same price, has a 65 kilowatt hour pack, basically the same size as the Model 3 battery pack. Realistically, probably a pretty similar range for the top spec model versus the Tesla Model 3 standard range.
However, if you look at Bjorn, when you actually test Toyota's vehicles and compare them to Tesla's, they are nowhere near as good.
So if you say that Tesla is 5 years ahead of the competitors, then Toyota might be 10 years behind Tesla.
So I would want to do a real-world test to actually compare the two vehicles, the Tesla Model 3 and the new car from Toyota, and then see what is the actual difference in real-world range.
Tesla has a much better brand name for EVs. Toyota is not perceived as being an electric car company, so I don't think it's going to sell that well unless Toyota significantly reduce the price.
Yeah, let's see if anyone actually buys the Toyota instead of the Tesla. What I know is that the BZ4, the SUV version of this vehicle, is not selling well in China at all. It's only 70th among all electric models sold in China. And that vehicle just had a price cut, so now it actually costs like $25,000 only. And it's still having a hard time. So it does not look good for Toyota here.
Why? Well, Toyota don't sell any compelling EVs. And what they do sell, they sell in very, very small quantities. They don't have a dedicated EV production line at any of their factories anywhere in the world.
I also started a Patreon account. I posted a video today. Tesla could really surprise us here. And this one is from yesterday. Warning, do not get confused. Some Tesla stock investors did. And this is a Tesla stock buying opportunity explained by Elon Musk. The sign up link for Patreon is down below in the description and the pinned comment. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.